Welcome back to Cheddar's News Wrap. A Chicago suburb is making history, approving the nation's first government reparations program for black citizens. Now advocates are hoping the city of Evanston, Illinois will inspire others to do the same. Joining us now, Evanston Mayor-elect Daniel Biss. Mr. Mayor-elect, thank you so much for taking the time. What does this new program mean for the black residents of your city?
Well, what it means is that the city of Evanston has done a few things. First of all, we've acknowledged that we as a city, not American society, not the federal government, not racism on the part of individuals, but we as a city, regrettably, engaged in specific acts, especially around segregation and the enforcement of segregation, that expanded not only residential segregation, but also exacerbated the racial wealth gap. In other words, we, through our own act as a government, harm the black community in concrete ways that are felt today, and therefore we have a responsibility to repair that harm. This reparations program is a step toward doing that. So what we've done is we've authorized a $10 million program that'll be funded through the revenue that comes in through the taxation of the sale of legal cannabis. The first $400,000 of that revenue were just appropriated a couple weeks ago, and that money will be spent in a housing program to help Evanston's black families that were specifically the victims of these discriminatory acts begin to have a better shot at homeownership and the building of generational wealth through that homeownership.
So homeownership is the focus here, Mr. Mayor-elect. What do you see as being potential next steps? Do you have hopes to sort of expand further support for some of these communities that extend beyond housing opportunities?
Yeah, the initial legislation that was passed focused on three areas. One is housing, one is education, and one is economic development. As you might imagine, there were segregated public schools in Evanston for a very long period of time. There's in fact still no neighborhood school in the traditionally African-American neighborhood in town. And of course, there's been a significant gap in opportunity available to entrepreneurs. And it's been difficult for black business owners to get off the ground and find capital and see support in the city through its regulatory acts and other things. And so there's the thought moving forward to expand this program to other areas, especially including education and entrepreneurship and economic development. But the most important thing, I think, is to ensure that it really is the individuals who were harmed by the city's acts to steer the repair work. And so we have a reparations committee in Evanston that's being populated right now. We have an open process, a commitment to openness so that people across the community can really be at the table when we're determining where the funds are going to be allocated. For me, as a white man, I'm not really here to say, this is exactly how the money ought to get spent. Instead, I'm here to say, I'm going to devise a process that makes sure that the people who need to be at the table are in fact heard.
Is this more advantageous over cash payments? Because that's one potential reparations-based proposal that people have said perhaps you further empower individual families to make the decisions that are best for them. Has that been on the table? Will that be up for consideration?
It's been talked about a lot, and it surely will be under consideration. There's some who say, listen, it's got to be cash payments, that it's just too paternalistic to put together a program and say, we are going to help repair the harm by providing a housing program. Instead, we ought to give you cash payments, and then you can decide what you want to do with those funds. Others say that, let's be honest, this is a pretty innovative path-breaking program. We expect that there will be lawsuits, and some people believe that a program that is not cash payments but instead is a targeted program in the specific area where the harm was done might be easier to defend in court. And others have made points about, for example, the tax ramifications of giving out cash payments. So there's a lot of different views in our community. It's been a really robust discussion, and I'm sure it's going to be a part of the conversations going forward. I think there's important reason for cash payments to be on the table, and I also think it's worthy to look at other options at the same time.
Okay, Mayor-elect Biss, I watch a lot of Fox News. I go home at night, and as a matter of fact, I watch Fox News in prime time. I see how the right, the furthest extremes of the right, in some cases, frame conversations like this. And I can guarantee you, what Tucker Carlson tells tens of millions of Americans, they call policies like this racist. They say this is the land of equality. And that means you treat everybody equally. You're not supposed to give favoritism on anything to one group over another. That is how conversations like this are being weaponized in conservative media to tens of millions of Americans. I listen to it every single night in prime time. What is your response to those critics, and they may even be in your community, who say you should be emphasizing equality over equity? Because those are two different things.
Yeah. What I'm really proud of in the way that we have done this as a community is we didn't just say, hey, listen, there's a problem, there's a racial wealth gap, and so we're going to try to solve that problem. What we did was a historical analysis. We figured out what concrete things the city government itself, specifically the city government, has done to create and exacerbate that wealth gap. We have documented that. There's long and really powerful reading that you can go find on the City of Evanston's website to walk you through the specific harms the city has done and the ways in which those consequences are felt today. It's not that someone's great grandfather lived in hardship, but now the great grandchild is living in a situation of equity. It's that the hardship that existed then has trickled down generation to generation because of the way wealth is passed on. And so I think we've made a very clear case that in fact the city of Evanston essentially engaged in theft. And we have a moral responsibility to repair that harm. And if you pretend that that history wasn't there, but the reality of today is still there, that Evanston black families have less because of what the city of Evanston did, you're just lying to yourself. You're just lying to yourself. So are there going to be opponents? You bet. But I think this is an argument that we are in need of having as a country because we acted together to create the inequalities that we have today, and therefore we have a responsibility to act together to repair them. If we think that a race-blind set of policies will solve the problems that were created by explicitly racist policies, we're kidding ourselves.
Yeah. I really appreciate you taking the time, and thank you for answering that last question. I think it's important to the overall conversation. Evanston Mayor-elect Daniel Biss, thank you very much, sir. Appreciate you taking the time.